Close your eyes for a moment and ask, am I truly spiritual, or just decorating my ego in sacred colors? That's the question we're diving into today. On one side, we have the raw rebellion of Friedrich Nietzsche, who saw spirituality as a cunning trick of the weak to dominate the strong. On the other, Jiddu Krishnamurti, a master of psychological clarity, who said, the moment you follow someone, you cease to follow truth. Then there's Osho, the wild mystic who often laughed at organized religion but also warned, the spiritual ego is the most dangerous ego because it hides behind holiness. Finally, we bring in Albert Einstein, a scientist, but also a spiritual thinker who once said, the most beautiful experience we can have is the mysterious. Now the question remains, is spirituality helping you drop the ego or feeding it sugar-coated poison? Let's begin with the obvious. In today's world, spirituality has become a brand. You wear beads, light candles, quote Rumi on Instagram, and tell people to raise their vibrations. You may even say you've had a Kundalini awakening after a weekend retreat. But ask yourself honestly, has your fundamental suffering ended? Are you free from fear, comparison, guilt, and desire? Or have you simply changed your costume from materialist to spiritualist? Krishnamurti would challenge us bluntly. Truth is a pathless land. He spent his life saying that to seek truth through any system, any guru, any religion, is already a movement of the ego. The moment you try to become spiritual, you're operating from a center, the me that wants to become better. He would ask, why are you trying to become something? Isn't that still ambition? Whether you want to be rich or enlightened, you're still moving from desire, from becoming, and becoming is the game of the ego. Osho, however, was more accepting of the spiritual journey, but equally alert about its traps. He said, ego is very cunning. It can even pretend to be humble. He gave examples of monks who renounce everything, walk barefoot, live in poverty, but secretly believe they are superior to ordinary people. That's ego in disguise. Just like a rich man can be proud of his wealth, a sadhu can be proud of his simplicity. Ego is not just in boasting, it's also in saying, look how pure I am. Osho warned, when the ego enters from the back door of spirituality, it becomes almost impossible to detect. Nietzsche, of course, would laugh at all this. He saw most forms of spirituality as weakness, a trick of the herd. To him, religion was often the invention of the powerless, used to make the powerful feel guilty. He wrote, God is dead, not as a celebration but as a warning. The old god of fear and control is dead. Now you must become your own creator. Nietzsche said, man is something to be overcome. He invited us to go beyond guilt, beyond false humility, and become the Übermensch, the higher man, the one who creates his own values without bowing to social or religious conditioning. Now, Nietzsche and Krishnamurti seem like enemies here. One calls for becoming more, the other says, stop becoming. But they share one thing. Both reject blind belief. Nietzsche rejects religion as mass hypnosis. Krishnamurti rejects tradition and authority. Both are warriors against illusion, though from different directions. Einstein, the calm, kind genius of science, once said, science without religion is lame. Religion without science is blind. But when he said religion, he did not mean priests and rituals. He meant wonder, awe, the mysterious structure of reality that science keeps unveiling. He believed in cosmic spirituality, not as prayer, but as reverence for the unknown. His spirituality was humble. He once said, the true sign of intelligence is not knowledge but imagination. Tao. And imagination, in its highest form, is also spiritual. It touches the mysterious without claiming to own it. So now, let's ask practically, when someone says, I'm spiritual, what does it mean? Does it mean they meditate daily, eat vegan, read scriptures, chant mantras? That's like saying you're a swimmer because you wear a swimsuit. None of these things make you spiritual. And if you're proud of them, you've already failed. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be one." Spirituality is not in what you say or believe. It's in how you live, how you relate to others, how you see your own mind. Let's go deeper. Imagine someone comes to you and says, "I'm very humble. I've destroyed my ego." You should run, because someone who has truly dropped their ego won't even be aware of it. It's like a person who's healthy. They don't go around telling everyone, "Look how healthy I am." They just live. The very claim, "I'm spiritual," is self-contradictory. Real spirituality, as Buddha said, is the end of the self. He taught anatta, no self. Not improving the self, not polishing it, dropping it entirely. He said, "There is no path to happiness. Happiness is the path." Carl Jung, the father of analytical psychology, added a brilliant twist here. He said, "Beware of unearned wisdom." Many people get spiritual insights from a book, a teacher, or psychedelics, but they haven't psychologically digested them. The ego grabs those insights and says, "Now I'm special. I've awakened." Jung's point was that real growth comes from confronting your shadow, your fears, wounds, desires, not escaping them with spiritual language. Let's take a real-life example. A man goes to a Vipassana retreat. He meditates 10 hours a day. He feels peace. He feels awakened. Then he comes home, and his wife forgets to add salt to the food. He explodes in anger. All that silence, gone. Why? Because his ego had paused, not disappeared. He had suppressed his reactions, not understood them. Another person reads Krishnamurti. He now feels intellectually superior. He criticizes every guru, every tradition. He says, all systems are false. But his criticism becomes his new ego. He's not free. He's just taken another position. You see the trap? Whether it's the monk in the cave or the hipster in the city, ego doesn't care. It just wants to feel special. Sadhguru, a modern mystic, says, ego is just a sense of self-importance. The problem is not the ego. The problem is identifying with a false self. In simple terms, ego is not just pride. It's the idea that you are something. Even saying I am nobody can become an identity. So, what's the way out? All four, Osho, Krishnamurti, Nietzsche, and Einstein, though wildly different, point in one direction. Don't lie to yourself. Osho says, be alert. Watch how your mind works. Don't fool yourself with holiness. Krishnamurti says, observe without judgment. Don't follow, don't compare, just see. Nietzsche says, burn the false, create new meaning. Don't bow to inherited lies. Einstein says, stay humble before the mystery. Let wonder guide your reason. Spirituality, if real, is not about becoming special. It's about becoming nothing. And only when you are nothing, not a Hindu, not a Christian, not even spiritual, can truth begin to whisper. In the end, ask yourself, are you using spirituality to hide your wounds or to face them? Are you trying to escape life or live it more fully? Are you becoming more open or just more clever with your words? If the answer is unclear, that's okay. That's where true spirituality begins. Not in certainty, but in silence, in not knowing, in staying honest. As Socrates said long ago, I know that I know nothing. And perhaps that's the most spiritual thing a person can say. Let me know if you'd like this adapted into a YouTube script format, thumbnail quote ideas, or split into shorter segments.